she's got the first step down, and that's established direction. So she will go off at a point, usually just off a point. I don't have to apply any more pressure on that. But she'll go to the right, she'll go to the left. That's step one. Second step is having her turn and face me. To do that, when she's going around in the circle, what I will do is I think of it kind of like an L shape. So I back up parallel to her. So here's the horse, here I am. I back up, actually you might visually see it. So I back up parallel to her, like this, catch her eye, and then she'll turn and face me. So that's the goal. The second step is having them turn in and face you. That's step number 2. So let's give it a try. Respectful. I just point and she goes right into that trot. Same thing. I can point again. This. And she'll go into that lope. If you start soft and ask nicely every time, they'll be as soft as you start. So if you start very soft at the beginning, so right down into that trot. All I had to do is point and then kiss, and that's her cue to go into that lope. Alright, now watch this. I'm going to let her go around one more time. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to step back parallel to her, and then once I catch her, I'm going to back straight to the camera. So watch this. I'm going to step, catch her eye, and back straight up. Alright? So that is second step, having her consistently turn in and face.
In the second lesson that Amora is learning, she is learning to not only consistently go in a direction, but she is now learning to turn in toward me, or with any horse, the horse has to learn to turn into the human and face them. And because that is helping establish trust, and for them to look to the human for comfort and for rest. And in God's word, it talks about this in numerous ways, and how I feel like a lot of us in life, I know I do, we kind of get going a million different directions, and then we forget to focus back on God, and we start to wonder, like, where is God in all of this? Is he still here with me? And he's never left. He is always right there in the center of our lives. And the thing we don't realize is that we're looking everywhere else for comfort and rest, when if we just turn to God and go to him, we can find that rest, the rest we can't find anywhere else. And I feel like in this part 2 of the lesson of round penning, it's just so similar to what a lot of us go through in life. And this morning I read Jesus Calling, and I know it's going to show backwards in the video, but it's Jesus Calling by Sarah Young. A lot of people, it's very popular, a lot of people read this devotional. But I personally have been struggling. I had a really high point in my life where I sensed the presence of God all around, and I was just such in a good place, so in love with God, and then it was not until I started to pursue this calling that I had, felt like God had on my life, of this horse ministry, to use horses as a way to share the gospel. It wasn't until I took that step and actually started building the farm and to the point where I'm at right now today, that is when I really started feeling attacked by the enemy. And it wasn't something immediate. It was slow little, thoughts of, you can't do this, and what, you're gonna get hurt, or you're gonna fail, or who do you think you are? You're not good enough. Like all these little jabs. And over time, if we start listening to the lies that the devil tells us, that's going to take a toll on you. It's going to wear you out. It's going to break you down, and eventually you're just going to hit a breaking point. And that's kind of what I did. And there were several months where I just felt depressed. I just felt completely alone. I didn't know how to get out of it. And, I tried to talk it through with, my parents, because I'm super close with them. And, it's something I've been through before. It just hasn't happened in a while. The last time I went through it was back in high school. And this time I knew what I was going through, like, because I've been through it before. But at the same time, I was out running the other day, and Roni, my horse Roni, he was the first horse I ever had, and God used that horse to get me out of that depression state last time I was in it. And Roni, he's the only one. I have 3 horses, and he's the only one that every time I come outside and he sees me, he looks at me, and he just looks at me for the longest time. And this particular day, I could sense God speaking to me, he saying that I got you through it once before, I will get you through it again. And so we are going to have highs and lows in our life, and but God's going to get us back to it. We just have to turn in, face him, get our focus on him, and God's always right there at the center of our lives. We just have to forget about everything that's going on around us and focus our attention on God, and that everything else around is going to keep going on. But if we go to God and center our focus on him, we are going to find rest there every single time. And this devotion from Jesus Calling, it just really hit to that point. And again, this is by Sarah Young. It says, I want you to know how, and before I read it, just for people that may have not read it before, it's written in a way as if God was writing a letter to you. So this is kind of that's how it reads anyways. But it says, I want you to know how safe and secure you are in my presence. That is a fact, totally independent of your feelings. You are on your way to heaven. Nothing can prevent you from reaching that destination. There you will see me face to face, and your joy will be off the charts by any earthly standards. Even now you are never separated from me. Though you must see me through eyes of faith, I will walk with you till the end of time and onward into eternity. Although my presence is a guaranteed promise, that does not necessarily change your feelings. When you forget I am with you, you may experience loneliness or fear. It is through awareness of my presence that peace displaces negative feelings. Practice the discipline of walking consciously with me through each day. And so this particular lesson that Amora is learning, she's learning to forget all her surroundings, come in and find rest with me. But at the same time, I feel like in this lesson, God is telling us the same thing. No matter what's going on around you, turn to God, seek him first above all else, and you will find a peace that transcends all understanding. Have a great day.